Maya hadn't slept properly in 3 weeks, not since the funeral, not since the nightmares began. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw him dying. Again, and again, and again. First, it was the fire. She'd watch helplessly as flames consumed their childhood home, her father's screams echoing through the smoke. Then came the dog attack. Their gentle golden retriever, Buddy, transformed into a snarling beast, tearing at her father's throat while she stood frozen, unable to move. But the car accident was the worst. The sound of screeching tires, the sickening crunch of metal, and her father's eyes, wide with terror, meeting hers through the windshield just before impact. The thing was, her father had died peacefully in his sleep. Heart failure. The doctor said he wouldn't have felt a thing. So why was her mind torturing her with these violent fantasies? Dr. Richards prescribed the pills with a gentle smile. Heavy-duty sleeping medication, he explained. It'll knock you into such a deep sleep, you won't dream at all. Your mind needs rest, Maya. The first night was bliss, 8 hours of pure, dreamless black. She woke feeling human again. The second night the same, and the third. But on the fourth morning, she found Buddy whimpering in the backyard, his golden fur singed, the smell of smoke clinging to his coat. There had been no fire. Maya told herself it was coincidence. Dogs got into things. Maybe he'd been near a barbecue. But on the fifth morning, she discovered scratch marks on her front door, deep gouges in the wood, as if something had been clawing desperately to get in, or out. The scratches were at exactly the height of Buddy's paws. By the seventh morning, she was afraid to leave her house. The local news reported a string of mysterious car accidents on her street, all single-vehicle crashes, all involving cars found wrapped around trees with no explanation. The drivers survived, but they all described the same thing. A man in pajamas appearing suddenly in their headlights, his face twisted in terror, his mouth open in a silent scream. Maya's father had been buried in his favorite blue pajamas. She stopped taking the pills. That night, the nightmares returned with a vengeance. But this time, as she watched her father burn, she noticed something different. He wasn't looking at the flames consuming him. He was looking at her, and he was trying to speak. In the dream, she stepped closer, straining to hear his words through the crackling fire. Stop. Taking the pills. Maya jolted awake, her heart hammering. She grabbed her phone and called Dr. Richards, demanding to know what was in the medication. It's perfectly safe, he assured her. Just a mild sleep aid combined with a dream suppressant. Nothing unusual. What kind of dream suppressant? A pause. It's experimental. It doesn't just prevent dreams, Maya. It redirects them. The subconscious needs to process trauma somehow. If it can't do it through dreams. The line went dead, but Maya heard something else. A sound from downstairs. The front door opening. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate. She crept to her bedroom door and peered down the hallway. At the bottom of the stairs stood her father, still in his blue pajamas, his face bearing the burns from her first nightmare. But he wasn't alone. Behind him stood other figures, dozens of them, all the victims of the accidents, the fires, the attacks that had been manifesting around her neighborhood, all wearing the same expression of confused terror. And Maya realized the horrible truth. The pills hadn't been redirecting her dreams into reality. They had been redirecting her father's dreams. Her father, who was supposed to be at peace, had been trapped in her traumatic visions, forced to experience every horrible death her grief-stricken mind could conjure. And each time she took a pill, she pushed those nightmares out of her head and into his. The accidents, the fires, the attacks, they were all echoes of his suffering, bleeding through from whatever realm held him captive. "Dad?" Maya whispered. He looked up at her with eyes full of pain and love. His mouth moved, forming words she could barely hear. Help. Me. Rest. Maya understood. She had to stop running from her grief. She had to face the nightmares, Not to torture herself, but to let her father go. She had to dream his peaceful death, the real one. That night, without the pills, Maya closed her eyes and forced herself to dream of her father as he truly was at the end. Not burning, not torn apart, not broken in twisted metal, just sleeping, peacefully, finally at rest. When she woke, the house was silent. The scratches on the door were gone. The smell of smoke had vanished. And for the first time since the funeral, Maya felt truly alone. But it was the right kind of alone, the kind that meant her father was finally, truly